Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you another edition of Keeping Modern Janky. We will keep this on the back of an Urza Saga plus multiple land drops. We have 2 bounce lands. We can hopefully draw some untapped lands, or the Amulet of Vigor would be our best draw, but we'll play this Urza Saga on turn 1 and then go from there, see what we draw. We would love an untapped land just so we can keep making land drops without having to bounce this Urza Saga back to our hand. I've been trying out the plan of bouncing the Urza Saga after getting a Construct and getting more Constructs and just keeping our hand intact. But I'm not sure if that's our winning strategy. We're not as top heavy as our other dinosaur build. Alright, so we're playing against Cascade. Can we go bigger, faster? Untapped land. Okay, good. That should have specified a forest though. So they play things like Fire and Ice, Force Negations, ways to tap down our subtleties. So even if we are lucky enough to next turn, we'll go get an Amulet of Vigor. We'll play that. We'll have 4 mana. Use one of it for their Boreal Grazer. Play another one. Go to 5 mana. Reach our Alpha. Is that our game plan? Well, third Reach our Alpha. I think is definitely our game plan. See if they just counter this. That'd be a smart play. They do not. So we're going to go ahead and tap that for mana in case we want to return the mountain to our hand, since we have this other bounce land. Imagine the counter spells coming out now. If there is one, there's not, but we're only hitting for 3. So the good thing though about Regis our Alpha is, do we have another land drop? We do not. If we get another one down, they all get haste. So what do we need to draw in order to get another Regis our Alpha down? Or do we already have it? So we can see what our opponent does. Hopefully just nothing. You don't have to do anything. They have Rhinos coming, and if they have one of their Cascade spells here, Sorcery Speed or the enchantment, they're going to get more Rhinos, and then we're just attacking into them with our Regis our Alphas, and they're dying. So next turn we can go explore Selesnya Sanctuary 2, Selesnya Sanctuary 4. So that only gets us up to 4. So what we would love is a Ghalta. A hasty Ghalta, please. This is the moment. This is the time. This is what we've been waiting on. A hasty Ghalta. So our Ghalta would cost 5 mana, and I still don't think we can get to 5 mana after all that, wanting a hasty Ghalta. So Leyline Binding. They're going to go for the Amulet of Vigor or something more impactful. To their life total, I should say. Yep, Amulet of Vigor. Do they have a fire and ice to tap down something? Looks like they do. I'm going to tap the land. And explore would be, if that would be better at instant speed, but that's yeah. Okay, well, it's annoying. Our opponent goes to 5. Slows us down considerably. Because we have our creatures line up pretty well against 4/4 rhinos as far as blocking goes. Now they have a lot of shenanigans with tapping or bouncing. Let's see if they drew another fire and ice. I guess Amulet of Vigor would be a nice draw for us, but it's at this point irrelevant if they... Alright, Shardless Agent. They're going to get some rhinos. Next turn they're going to get more rhinos. So they'll have a total of 4. And they have a lot of interaction that we don't as far as bouncing things, tapping things to punch through damage. So we still think this Pugnacious Hammer Skull, we need, I mean, yeah, we can put a lot of power on the battlefield to erase these rhinos. We just need a certain number of cards to get, first of all, the Galta, but also ways to get a lot of mana. Another Grazer. Another Grazer with no way to play multiple or to untap our lands. So if we do explore, see what we draw. We're just playing it fair at this point. I don't even know if we want to put this bounce land out there, to be honest. But we can't count on drawing what we need as far as Amulet of Vigor. It's only a 3 of. But we can go ahead and attack with everything, since our dinosaurs all have haste. This is going to force some blocking from our opponent, who's only at 5. I imagine they're going to kill this, and then maybe go... Yep. So then they were left with a 6/6. They're left with a 4/4. They're about to get more 4/4s. Next turn we can get another Regisaur Alpha out. And follow that up with another Regisaur Alpha. Of course, our opponent has 5 cards in hand and more rhinos on coming, so just F6. Given that they have a lot of ways to interact with what we're doing, and we just are going to be putting as much pressure as possible, I have a feeling that we're not going to win this race, even though we've gotten off to a really good start against them. Take the 1, I guess. There's some reason to not block there because we want to get to 10 permanents for City's Blessing, but we're so far away from it, I'm not sure. Halo Forager, 3/1 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value X from a graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into graveyard, exile it instead. So just a 3 mana instant or a creature that also casts Crashing Footfalls for them. That's some sweet tech. So again, I think you can see here that banning one of the cascade spells has not really done as much as people have thought, or as much as Wizards thought when it comes to stopping the rhinos. I mean, look at this. Oh, it just made them innovate better, which is sweet. I mean, I enjoy the innovations, but all right. So what can we do? We can explore, draw a card, play some lands. We can play this Regisaur Alpha, put some more power on the board. We could attack and then they double block, they lose one, but we will just pass the turn and hope to draw into a Galta and steal the game via them going all out for an attack or something like that. Man, the opponent's not too chatty, unfortunately. I mean, they have 4 cards in hand. We have 4 cards in hand. They have ways to tap our things down like I've been saying this whole game, so I feel like they're gonna... I was not expecting this guy, though. That guy's cool. Some sweet tech. So then you know, now we're like, okay, well, we need to bring in some graveyard hate, too. That's what we need. All right, so our only... Yeah, they're going to go ahead and swing with everybody. So we block, take 1 if we block there. And they have mana open, so yeah, they're going to rethink this. I mean, that would have given us a window to maybe get the win, but they're just going to play it safe, I think. Attack for 3 in the air, wait till next turn where they can go ahead and attack with everybody and ensure the victory. More rhinos. So now when you're playing a Cascade deck, you also need graveyard hate, apparently. So this is the reason why I just put Brotherhoods in back in the sideboard, but this is why I would play Storm's Wrath, is because it kills rhinos. And Brotherhood in does kill artifacts, which is when I went for against Affinity. What do we draw? What do we draw? Cavern of Souls. There's our Galta. Not even sure I want to show him the Galta. Because I don't think we can win here. We can play the Grazer. I mean, we have enough to just cast this Galta for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can play this, get down the Galta. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. This would force some blocking from our opponent. Subtlety. The One Ring. No comment. So now what do we have to bring in Tormod's Crypts too to fight against this deck? That seems cool. That seems cool. Just fine, Wizards. Just fine. Cascade is totally fine now. Not busted or anything. I would like if opponents would. I had a stretch there where I make these videos and opponents were friendly and would have a little bit of back and forth, and clearly we're open to meeting people, talking about the deck I'm playing and the deck they're playing. But haven't had that luck today. Most of my opponents are just silent, or they say one thing and that's it. Yeah, it's each his own. Some people aren't playing to make friends. I enjoy the social aspect of paper Magic, and that's one thing I miss the most after COVID. Kind of killed paper Magic for everyone, and then I have so many kids I can't really. Wow, Galtatron plus the One Ring. All right. Well, we'll keep this one. Put a cavern to the bottom. Urza Saga can get the Tormod's Crypt. What's so sad though is that Tormod's Crypt is just a fringe hate piece against what our opponent's doing. They have so many other ways of getting rhinos out. They don't even need that graveyard shenanigan one. I think Magic is in a place right now where more Blood Moon effects need to be in the format. There's so many decks playing 4 and 5 colors and getting maximum value out of all these supposedly priced cards, high-priced cards that restrict you based on mana, the domain cards essentially. But there's not a restriction. People are just abusing it. And so there's no drawback to playing 4 or 5 colors anymore. And with all the free spells, you don't even need double blue for your subtleties. I mean, our opponent had it last game, but you can cast it for free if you just have a blue card, obviously. So, I mean, there isn't any punishment for greedy mana bases. And I'm talking from the perspective of clearly I'm playing a greedy mana base, playing an Amulet deck, but it's essentially a 2-color deck. Okay, Scion of Draco. This is another card I'm talking about, right? Just no punishment for the greedy mana bases. So they get a Scion of Draco, and we get an Amulet of Vigor and a Pugnacious Hammer Skull. No way to make multiple land drops. It's really hindering us right now. So I don't know if this is just, I know Wizards has long hated land destruction, and it isn't much fun to play against land destruction, but I feel like they've gone the opposite end of the spectrum now with the way that domain has kind of the domain has taken over the game. It's no longer a drawback. You have access to all the best cards in Magic. You just have to find the right best cards to fit with what you're doing. And all you do is get super maximum value out of the 5 colors for these cards that like a 4/4 flyer that you get down on turn 2. Plus access to all the support cards from all the different colors. So Wayward Swordtooth might be our best. Here comes the ice to tap down our land. Thank you. Appreciate that. Another Galta is not our best. So we'll run out the cavern. And we can't even really attack with this Pugnacious Hammer Skull because it doesn't untap. But we're going to do it anyway. We'll take a turn off with it. Oh, never mind. I'm going to click OK through combat instead. That's what I totally meant to do. Yes, I don't know. I mean, even main deck Blood Moons have a hard time keeping up with what are these type of decks, because you just need a single white source to cast your Leyline Binding to get rid of the Blood Moon, or you just need a single green source to do a Boseiju from your hand. There's so many treasure tokens running around. It's just really hard to stay ahead of the value. And even if a Blood Moon came down, they already had a 4/4 flyer on turn 2. So we would have gotten a Blood Moon down the turn after, but the damage is done, right? They've already cast a flyer. And yet some things like Storm Breath or Glorybringer cost 5 mana to be a 4/4 flyer. Scion of Draco, nah, it's fine. No one's going to be able to get it down that fast. Nope, you can play it on turn 2 because there's no drawback for playing all 5 basic land types. And you fetch it up with the Triomes. I mean, this is a dragon, so it is in my purview for dragons in Modern, as is Murktide Regent. So maybe I'll build a domain deck with Scion of Draco in a way that isn't just copying Cascade or Domain Zoo. And then you have the Leyline of the Guild Pack that's come along that's really pushed up Scion of Draco as a powerful card. Another ice. That's fine. This is so much fun. Modern is a fun format. And we draw another land. Yeah, I mean, this is painful. Part of me wants to put the video up just so that you can hear my rant and also see the status of Modern, but it's also just terrible gameplay. Like, who wants to watch this? Turn 2, 4/4 flyer. Turn 3, tap your land. Turn 4, tap your land. Play my mana. Hold up all my good spells to answer whatever you finally get to cast after I quit tapping your lands. I mean, we draw in another Galta is not helping our... We drew a land, Galta land, or land Galta, or something like that, so we're not drawing particularly well either. No way to make multiple land drops, no way to have an explosive turn. Our opponent's got all the mana in the world for... Oh, another land. So now we get up to 6 mana, so we can finally cast our Galta. Yay, we're going to do something on turn 6. Our opponent has 5 cards in hand. I'm sure they have no way of interacting with what we're doing. Let's make sure we tap our mana correctly. I need to tap before I let the bounce land trigger go on the stack. Here comes the Subtlety. Or maybe even Solitude. They're a 5-color deck after all. 5-color Cascade, so they banned some Cascade card. That's going to take care of the deck. Nah, we'll just go into 4 and 5 colors and have access to even the better cards. Yep, Subtlety it is. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. And now we're down to dying not next turn yet, but soon enough. Yeah, I mean, we just aren't, our deck isn't performing at the high level it can. It's not having its super explosive starts. We kept a slow hand, and then our opponent kept a fast hand, and they're backing it up with interaction, which is exactly what this type of deck can do. Domain Zoo is the same way, right? You play these undercosted, overpowered creatures because of your 5-color mana base, then you can either flood the board with them and overwhelm your opponent, or in this regard, sit back and just draw cards while you put pressure on your life total or your opponent's life total and answer what they're doing. And since we were only being able to do one thing a turn, and we actually played several turns, they just time walked us with their ice, tapping us down to see if they have the fire to finish us off as insult on injury. We have no flyers, nothing matters. We can play a Galta, but to what end? They have 2 flyers and we're at 1 life, so it's just been super competitive game, really fun, really close. You can really see how interactive and fun the games can be in Modern. And our opponent's just going to not press OK. Just click OK button, man. Just do it. You're already winning. It's an Amulet of Vigor. Alright, well, this has been a pretty brutal match, and I think it's a good sign for me to call it for now. Here's the state of Modern, though. 5-color mana base, no drawback. Blood Moon wouldn't have stopped the full 4/4 flyer. We would have needed a Blood Moon and then an answer. We didn't have our fastest start, our most explosive start. We didn't even have a close, fast, explosive start. But with 2 ices in our opponent's hand, I'm not sure it would have mattered. So anyway, we'll see. This deck can compete, but this was a pretty painful game. But we'll get them next time, right? We'll see. Anyway, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. This has been another edition of Keeping Modern Janky with Johnny Cycles. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my website, CyclesGaming.com, for original Magic the Gathering content. You can read about my Commander decks or my Janky Modern brews. My latest article is about the Zombie Precon and its effect on Commander. I'll give you a couple different deck lists. If you're interested in a science fiction / fantasy novel, be sure to check out my book, The Podcon. I'm publishing it serially, a couple chapters every month. Again, thanks for watching. Check me out on YouTube, Johnny Cycles. Click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.